Hi, my name's Dr. Elizabeth Cohen. I'm going to be your instructor for this course, COMM 655, Computer-Mediated Communication and Professional Identity, which is a really long title, which is probably why most people in our department like to use the numbers instead of saying all that stuff. In general, actually, I should maybe start off by saying that a lot of people don't even know what computer-mediated communication means. It's kind of an academic term. It is this type of stuff that people in my field do, but I've really hated the term because it's not very descriptive. I like to think of computer-mediated communication of basically the study of social media and communication. So actually, sometimes I'll just describe it when I teach just a basic computer-mediated communication course. I describe it to my students as the psychology of social media. And that's kind of what I think this is. It is a class that takes a communication and psychological perspective to what happens when we do things online, and then it's got this professional identity component mixed in, which I will confess I don't really know what that means. I should mention that I was not the person who originally designed the course and added it to the curriculum. I have been fortunate enough to pick it up because I think there's a lot of interesting things to be done, but I will tell you that I am not 100% sure what the course started out as being intended to do. I only know what I want to do with the course, which I'll tell you about. Sorry, ooh, banging into that desk. The way I see this course is, as far as the professional identity stuff goes, is, well, it is, we use social media as a way to convey identity. And accomplish lots of different goals with that, right? And some of those goals are professional, some of them are personal, and some personal goals are professional. And what I mean is that especially in a program like this, you guys are what professional means to each of you could be very different, right? Some of you might be starting your own businesses. Some of you might be working for a government agency. Some of you actually might not even know what you want to do yet. You've gone straight from undergrad into a master's program or whatever. And I guess the way I had started to think about how I wanted to run this class was more like, okay, what's the type of stuff that you could read about and start thinking about in terms of how you manage your social media identity and how you manage content online, either content that other people are sending to you or you're manufacturing to put out there. Maybe you're trying to sell something or post advertising, whatever. What are the types of things that would be useful for whatever goals you're trying to do? So in that way, I look at this class as a really broad introduction to issues in conveying identity online. So we're going to talk a lot about self-presentation, that kind of stuff. Sharing. The last half of the semester is all on what makes things go viral, because again, the way I see it is that even if you're not, for instance, going to be working in a marketing company, everybody, if they're posting something on social media, wants their content to spread widely. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing it, right? So we're going to talk about those types of principles that hopefully, I guess I should say, hopefully there's something for everybody in this class, no matter what your profession is, right? Keeping it broad in that regard. Anyway. So a lot of you know me, maybe, if you've had me for another class that I teach in the program, which is called social marketing, not social media marketing. It's very different, but forget everything you know or think you know. This is a very different class in how I'm running it. Some of you will be really happy about that. And if you did not have me for that class, then great. You're coming in with clean expectations, so great. I'm just going to, in this video, go over basically all of the stuff that's written in your syllabus, which is a little redundant, I know, but I feel like if you can just hang in here and listen to me talk about this for another 10 minutes, it will give you an idea of the things that I want to emphasize, because I'm not going to literally read everything. So you'll get more of a sense of my priorities for the class, and then it'll also help you hear things a second time. Sometimes when you read things, they don't sound the same as when you hear them. So, okay. First, let me just tell you about the readings. There is a book that I want you to get for this class, and I'm sorry that it wasn't, you weren't notified of that earlier on. I've really, this is the second time teaching the class, and I was kind of changing things up, and I hadn't really made a decision. But here's the thing, you don't need that book until around spring break. So you don't need it until like the second half of the semester. So there's still time to get it. The other thing is it's not an academic book. It's not one of these books that should cost you like whatever ridiculous crap they charge you for, even for the digital versions, like $75 or something. It is a popular press book that came out several years ago. I think you can get it, you can definitely get it as a hardback. Where's my copy? Oh, I should have brought it out. Oh, mine doesn't have the pretty, this is what it looks like without the cover. It's a pop press book. Simon & Schuster is the publisher, right? Pretty big, font, and we're going to read this over the course of 3 weeks. You can probably get it digitally, and you can probably get it in paperback. I think like on Amazon, it shouldn't, I'm not supposed to advocate for Amazon, because if I didn't tell you about Amazon, you'd never know it existed. The point, though, is it's not in the bookstore. There's probably different ways of getting it, and it really shouldn't cost you more than like $15 max. So I will, as we get there, as we get closer to using it, I'll start to try to remind you. But if you want to just go ahead and pick it up so you don't have to think about it, please do. On the syllabus, you've got all the information you need to find that. Other than that, all the readings are going to be just provided online for you. They're going to be different types of readings. Sometimes I like to assign pop press stuff, news articles from the New York Times or things like that, and I have links to those. I like that because I think they're easy to digest, but they still convey, the things that I want us to talk about and learn about and think about. Sometimes, occasionally, I'll have you read academic research articles too. I think it's another good skill set. Sometimes I want to go direct to the source and have you read sort of like the fundamentals about different things. And sometimes I'll have like a more textbook type chapters that I posted. But again, you don't need to buy any of this stuff. It's all going to be available on eCampus except for the book that, again, you're going to spend the last couple of weeks reading in class. We don't. If you've taken other classes in this department in the past, you may have been required to join a social network site. I will confess that in some of my undergraduate classes, I have made that requirement in the past, but I just can't anymore. I know I teach social media, it is my job, but I don't know, it's just getting to the point now where I feel it's unethical to require people to join social network sites. However, there's a little bit of a caveat in that, though I do not require you to join a social network site, even if this is a social media class, the final project in this course is going to involve some analysis of what other people are doing on social media. So for that reason, in order to see what other people are doing, you're going to have to be able to get into some sort of social media account. How you do that is up to you. If you don't want to join Facebook, I don't blame you. I mean, I'm on it. I'm not trying to say, oh, don't do that. I mean, again, it's just complicated, but all I'm saying is that you'll have a lot of flexibility in deciding what kind of things you want to look at online, but you will need to, at some point, choose some sort of social network site that you can access. You don't have to use your real name or any of that. That's all up to you. But other than that, there's no required use of social media in this class. Okay, so let me go through like basically the structure of this class, what the grades are. Every week will hopefully be pretty much the same, except for this week. This week I do want you to introduce yourself to me, because I know a lot of you guys already know each other, and you're probably sick to death of introducing yourself, and I'm really sorry, but I need some way of getting to know you, so thank you in advance. I do have a little question on the discussion board just about your social media use, because I'm curious to know how you guys use social media and what your goals are, but besides that, pretty cut and dry. You also have to do a syllabus quiz where you answer questions about the syllabus, and that is just to make sure you read the syllabus. There's no trick to that. The only thing you should be aware of, though, is that this is an all or nothing grade. You get 15 points for doing the quiz, but only if you get all 15 points. If you only get, let's say there's 15 questions, I can't remember. If you only get 11 of them right, you get a 0. But you can take the quiz as many times as you want. The point of this, again, is because I want you to get all the right answers. So I'm only going to give you credit until once you get all the right answers. Keep taking the quiz until you get all the answers right. But then after this week, everything's going to become like the same every week. Basically, there's going to be like, I call it a worksheet. I don't know if that's the best description of what it is. It's questions that you have to answer about the readings. Some of them are more reflective. Some of them are more, um, you know, like give me the right answer to show that you're reading. It really kind of depends on each week, but every week you're going to need to do your readings, answer some questions about them in the worksheet, and submit that worksheet by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. And then the new week starts, right? Those worksheets will be submitted on eCampus, and that's where I'll grade them, and that's where you'll find any comments I make on them and things like that. So that's pretty much it for each week. You read. I have a summary lecture that you can look at. It's just me talking to the camera just like this. I don't do fancy PowerPoints or anything like that. It's kind of, this isn't a class where there's like specific theories and bullet points and stuff like that. It's really not that kind of content. It's very much a graduate seminar where if we were in person, we'd just kind of sit around and talk and, you know, have philosophical conversations about some of these things and talk about the ethics and how things work. You know, it's not a whole lot of right or wrong. Make sure you memorize this, memorize that. So I don't use a lot of PowerPoints and visuals and things like that in my lectures. I literally just talk just like I would if, again, we were in a grad seminar that you had in person. Having said that, some of you might not find that useful, and I'm not requiring you to watch these lectures. Some of you, though, might find it extremely helpful. Maybe it explains things that you didn't really get in the readings, or maybe it's a little bit of a shortcut if you don't want to spend a lot of time on the readings and you just want to get my overview in 20 minutes. I don't know. I leave it there for, you know, as an option in case it helps you, but if you don't use it, I'm never going to know it. It's just another resource that you can use to help understand the material if you need. So that's every week. You've got a lecture, you've got worksheets. At the end of the semester, there's going to be a final project that is supposed to be a culmination of all the knowledge that you've gotten from the weeks before, some sort of application. We're going to be talking about various issues and again, how people present their identity and actually I should warn you, like the first couple of weeks are really just going to be foundational things in social media economics. So you can understand how the whole ecosystem works and then think about how what you do on social media fits into that ecosystem. And at the end of the semester, what I want is for you to apply all the stuff that you've read. I literally want you to apply it, like cite it and all that stuff. You can read the description of the project online and do your own analysis of somebody else's presence. It can be a company's presence, like maybe, you know, you want to analyze WVU and, you know, how they're using their Twitter account and their Facebook and their website and all this stuff to accomplish their goals. I'd actually prefer, and I recommend for a lot of reasons, that you actually pick a person like yourself. It could be like a micro celebrity or somebody who, again, has cultivated some sort of presence for better or worse, and you're going to kind of dissect that, critique it, analyze it, using the things that you've applied in this course. You will need to get the person that you want to analyze approved by me ahead of time. There's details about that, but for now, that's all you got to know. And then finally, the very last thing you're going to do is a show and tell. You're going to do exactly what I'm doing right here. You're going to stare at a camera and talk, hopefully not this long, actually. I want it to just be a quick explanation of what you did for your final project. I like to do these in my online classes because better late than never. I don't really get to see your faces at all. You get to see mine anytime you want. Lucky you. It also gives your classmates a chance to see not just you, but what you've been doing all semester. It's supposed to be kind of casual, you know, an informal, fun way to end the semester. Low stakes, right, where you can kind of show off what you've done and get a sense for what everybody else did. So that's it. And you can see how the grades are managed. Oh, the only other thing I want to bring up that's important, you do have to do these worksheets each week, but there are more worksheets assigned than grades. So there you can get, there is like a free pass. I mean, oh, no, maybe it's not, I counted wrong. Yeah, so the free pass is basically at the end of the semester, I will drop your lowest Sorry, I said it wrong. I'm getting my classes confused now. It's syllabus week. All I've been doing is writing syllabi, but I can't tell who's who. So basically, there's going to be one free worksheet where, let's say that you had a bad week and you just can't turn in a worksheet that week for whatever reason. Or let's say you turned in a worksheet and you bombed it. It's not the end of the world. I will drop your lowest grade and substitute it with your highest at the end of the semester. So that's just to give you a little bit of leeway. But I will say that's going to be the only leeway. I don't accept these things late. I mean, just from my vantage point, you know, even though like everybody does have a week to work on these, possibly longer. There's no, for some of these units, I don't post all of the content ahead of time on eCampus, but some of it you could even do in advance if you wanted. So the way I look at it is like, everybody's got ample time to do it. It's up to you not to, you know, procrastinate. But again, everybody has a bad week, so everybody has that week that they're, you know, the freebie week. And if you don't use your freebie week, then maybe you just don't turn in a worksheet the last week, or however you want to manage that. It's up to you. But I don't accept late assignments. I would accept your final project late with point deductions because that's worth more and yada yada yada. But just be aware of that. And any other relevant policies. I mean, this class is pretty straightforward. I don't see anything I really need to warn you about or anything like that. Yeah, I mean, this is, again, there's more information, obviously, but I'm just trying to hit the highlights, and I think we did. The only other thing I'll say is that in the back, you can see the schedule of topics and all that stuff, you know, things like that. I printed out the syllabus just so I could look at it while I'm talking to you, but I would recommend downloading a copy of your syllabus just on the desktop of your computer, so you don't have to like go into eCampus or whatever to get everything you need, because most of your readings are hyperlinked. You can't see it here, but you can link to all the readings you would need from your syllabus. Not all of them, but most of them. If there's something that you can't get on your syllabus, then you should be able to find that on eCampus, but it should be pretty easy. I would recommend still checking eCampus daily, because if something comes up, that's how I'm going to reach out to you. I'm just going to leave an announcement on eCampus. I try to leave announcements at least once a week. Sometimes I don't have a lot to say. It really kind of depends on the week, and I'm just like, hey guys, cool worksheets, or hey guys, those worksheets sucked. I mean, usually not that, but I'm just saying, I do try to check in, but that's pretty it. It's a really, like, probably if you haven't already figured out, like most of these online master's classes, you know, it's very hands off, and you're kind of responsible for yourself, and you do you. But if you need me, you know, if you need more, if you need me to explain things, please reach out. I'm a big fan of talking on the telephone in classes like this, because I feel like if problems do come up, and I'm not saying they do, but if they do, it's usually because we don't have the benefit of, you know, the synchronous back and forth conversation that we would in a regular classroom. So things that might not seem so clear, I can usually clear up a lot quicker when we can have a back and forth and give each other feedback and stuff. It's always funny that I say that because I'm like a media person. I like the media, and I always study all these good things about the media. I'm like one of those people, but yeah, even I think that there are some major benefits to face-to-face communication, or mediated communication, but through the phone. So I think that's it. I'm going to go use up it's like a love, I don't know if you can see it, but it's been, can you see the sun? It's been a lovely, I mean, well, it's been a crappy week. Those of you on the East Coast, you know, it's been really dismal, and there's been a lot of dreariness. It's been very murky, dismal for those of you Rainbow Bright fans out there. And today the sun just came out, and it's amazing, and school hasn't started yet. I'm doing this video a good 4 days before school starts, so I'm going to go and try to enjoy the outdoors a little bit. But all you need to be doing this week, at least, is I'll see you on the discussion board. I look forward to seeing your post and getting to know you a little bit better. And don't forget that syllabus quiz. Again, just it's not hard, but you might have to take it a couple times until you get all the answers right, but then think about how well you'll know the syllabus. So, okay, guys, looking forward to the semester. Hope all of your other classes are off to a great start. I'll see you soon.